202. So one of the amendments in terms of exercising. So what do you determine as like exercising? Because walking could be exercising. So you can have the contact tracers out there with like speed things if they're over 2 miles an hour.
No.
And then also OSHA standards for oxygen levels at workplace safety. There's a certain level, I believe it's 21, 22 oxygen threshold. And there's studies that show when you wear a mask for just a short period of time, carbon monoxide levels lower that to unsafe with federal law. I also know that Boone County or Boone Hospital and Missouri are both the United States. Last time I checked, again, free country. We've got to realize that while wearing masks might be a minor inconvenience and we kind of, like we all just want to appease people and just kind of go along with our lives and not really worry about the true issues that faces in this current time, like 3 aircraft carriers right outside of China. We got 300,000 abortions performed per year, and there's not really a mass crisis for that because we don't really value human life in that sense. We got 40 people in Chicago getting killed, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's stuff that's actually going on, and we're talking about stuff of trivial, and again, lines of division when we can come together, right? And it's just like, what's going on, man? I expected everybody to come, like this Missouri, is, again, 10th Amendment is like, we got the state, so even if we have unjust politicians, we can, stand together. And just, Warp Speed hasn't read the book of Titus, man, it's just like, there's things I've learned, because like, the light's in the darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. I mean, I've been saved for 2 to 3 years, and like I just know stuff that like you're not supposed to teach, because like, and it just like to go when Bill Gates has a cryptocurrency tattoo vaccines at the closest thing to the mark of the beast that I've ever seen. It's the patent 666, and like if you got wisdom and understanding, that this is the precedent, and they're saying we're all the problem for this. And if we want to do something that solve problems, man. Be simple. If you want to decriminalize marijuana and get that 10% out there to say, you know what I'm saying? And then tax it, give the police more money so we can enforce laws and live in a safe community and like build Mexico up, build hemp roads. Let's do something that actually matters instead of just arguing, like literally. If we just literally, like the thing is, like if we have zero automated costs, if we just work for 10 years, we could all freaking be on UBI. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like sorry to use, like it just like, we literally just work. We can solve these problems. We work together instead of just like trivial and like just, the information is out there. The CDC is fraudulent. Bill Gates should be honestly arrested for crimes against humanity. He was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 17 times, and there's just fraud at every level. John Hopkins is funded by Bill Gates. The CDC had tests that like literally all of it, dude. There's so much fraud involved with COVID, and I ask why. And if it's not to get mandatory vaccines, hydrochloroquine, there's so much misinformation about it, and we're in an information war. And when truth and like literally, guys, it's just like. I ask everybody to watch Infowars.com. I've been 10 hours a day. Like, judge for yourself. It's a free country, honestly. Everybody can. That's literally what it is. We're going to change the definition of assault if somebody comes with 6 feet to me. We're completely rewriting the law to appease a mob that's funded by George Soros, who is an actual Nazi. You know what I'm saying? And, like, Bill Gates is, like, we don't understand what eugenics is. It's all based off a lie. That in 2050, the global warming, we're all going to be inhabitable, and there's going to be a new heaven and new earth. That's not what this is. And it's all fear tactics, and they're trying to control the population. And there's forced sterilization. There's all sorts of stuff that nobody's talking about because we just want to appease. Nobody wants to get their hands dirty. And we should, honestly, if we're going to talk about reparations, we should have reparations for the 3 million Muslims that are in internment camps in China. And nobody's talking about that. And I think we should, And there's corruption literally at every level, and like I think we should be united. I think mandatory mask it doesn't solve anything. One. It's a violation, like, whatever. Just talk about something that matters, and this is not something that matters. And the fact that just the overall, like, man. I would say the exercising thing would be one. Again, why are churches closed? If Jesus could go and, like, be around lepers and have no fear, because it's based on your connectivity with God is disease. As a man thinketh, your thoughts transform into, because based on pruning, right? Destination of heaven or hell, whether you want to like talk about justice and everything like that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's just like, I think the fact that why are we scared? Why are we scared of stuff? You're not supposed to fear. It says don't fear 365 times in the Bible. It's one for each day of the year. Why are we fearing? Like, I don't know, like freedom of religion is everybody can think what they want, choose what they want, but it's life. It should be the no harm is like, you know what I'm saying? If like you want to smoke marijuana, who cares? But if you were like, you want to drink, who cares? Second, you injure somebody, like, just come on. Let's do something that matters. Let's focus on something that matters. And these laws and like the semantics and the bowing to the mob's a fucking joke, to be honest. And like Kumo, here's the thing, to be honest. If we're talking about things that matter, half the deaths are people sending them to nursing homes. And in Texas, what they do with contact tracing is they say, oh, you had the sniffles. Okay, that could be, because everything's a very loose definition of what it is. And they count on average 16 people into that number. And it just like, they're leading you towards a vaccine. And you talk about remdesivir, if that's one of the things, and like Fauci with fraud in terms of that, and he pushed that every time. The person who Nobel Peace Prize for talking about that for AIDS said there was a man-made virus with over 5 viruses combined into one. And then you talk about that the lab was actually, it was in North Carolina, and then the entire scientific community under Obama, ran by Fauci, ran by Gates, and then they kicked it out and went to Wuhan. And who, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of inconsistencies, and I think we should have Nuremberg-level trials to solve, to just truth and justice, to be honest. And like, until we have those, fraud at every level, and defunding the police is a joke. They want to bring in contact tracers. Hillary Clinton also involved heavily. ABC News has had all of it. They should all be arrested, to be honest. In Nuremberg level trials, we have justice. Let's go after the people who are trying to like depopulate the planet instead of like, oh, you're wearing a mask. Like, seriously. That's what we should be focusing on, to be honest.
Thank you. I think your time's expired, but thanks.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.